Home prices are about to rise again. Rates are dropping. Buy now or you'll miss out. If you just heard a realtor say that, pause for a moment, because the reality of the 2025 market is moving in the exact opposite direction. According to data from the California Housing Affordability Tracker, the cost of financing a home is still at the highest level in nearly a decade. Mortgage rates are close to 7%, insurance premiums are soaring, and property taxes are climbing. All of it squeezing buyers, especially those on fixed incomes like retirees. Meanwhile, California Governor Gavin Newsom, when signing the law to loosen CEQA to push housing construction, made it clear: we have too much demand chasing too little supply. AP News. This is not a collapse warning, but it is a signal that the state is urgently dealing with a long-standing housing shortage. And the irony is, while the government is trying to build more, home prices in many cities are already falling sharply, something realtors rarely admit. In this video, I will walk you through 10 cities in California that are experiencing steep home price declines, with solid evidence, verified data, and clear analysis. If you are 50 or older and you are considering buying, selling, or holding real estate in California, this is the video you should not miss. Let's begin with city number 10, where the glow is beginning to fade. 10. San Francisco. When the California dream gets blown away by prices, taxes, and broken promises, you spend over $1 million to buy a home. Yet you don't dare walk outside at night for fear of being robbed. Every month, you pay more than $6,000, not including insurance and taxes, only to live in a city that more and more people are leaving behind. That's the reality in San Francisco in 2025. Median prices down over $40,000, inventory soaring. But a well-known agent in Soma still posts, "Buy a condo now before the market rises again." Rises again from where? With hundreds of units sitting unsold. The dream of owning a home in this iconic city is crumbling piece by piece. Home prices in San Francisco have already started to fall. According to Wolf Street, listings in June 2025 jumped 30% year over year, while weak demand pushed the median price down 3.5%, meaning more than $40,000 evaporated in just 1 year. But if you think that's your chance to buy in, listen closer. The condo segment, once a hot target for investors, is now the dead zone. Central areas like Soma and Mission Bay are facing stagnation. Many condos are being relisted, with price cuts up to 15% per square foot. Sellers are offering free HOA fees and closing cost assistance. Yet buyers remain indifferent. Rising inventory keeps forcing prices lower. High interest rates are the knockout blow, with a 30-year fixed mortgage hovering at 6.77%. A mid-range home in San Francisco now costs nearly $6,000 per month, including taxes and insurance. According to the Legislative Analyst's Office, today's financing costs are over 80% higher than in 2020. Buyers can't handle it, and they're pulling back. But the tragedy isn't just about home prices or interest rates. Taxes and living costs have turned San Francisco into a financial trap for new buyers. Under Prop 13, new homeowners pay property tax based on current market value, many times higher than longtime owners locked into older assessments. Living costs here are also 50% higher than the national average, LAO 2024. The result? Only the truly wealthy can survive here. And what about regular people? They're leaving. Population data shows San Francisco has lost 32,000 residents since the pandemic. From 2023-2024 alone, the city shed another 1,000 plus people, most of them middle-class families and seniors, people who no longer see a reason to stay in a place where homes are overpriced. Life feels unsafe, and quality of living has vanished. A 62-year-old couple who once lived in No Valley shared, "We used to love this city, but now, living here feels like paying to endure. We decided to walk away." San Francisco didn't collapse overnight, but the cracks are already clear. So what do you think? If it were you, would you buy a home here right now? Don't forget to hit like if you feel this analysis matches reality, and leave a comment below. Do you still see San Francisco as a livable place? Share your experiences and opinions. We want to hear them. 9. Los Angeles. When the city of lights becomes a place. No one can afford, imagine this. You live in the most famous city in America, but every month you pay over $5,500 just to have a roof over your head, while your median income is under $7,500. Sky-high living costs, crushing interest rates, declining quality of life, and now, the LA dream is cracking more each day. The Los Angeles housing market is falling into a severe oversupply. According to Wolf Street, in June 2025, the city had nearly 14,700 homes listed for sale, up 45 to 50% from the same period last year, hitting the highest level in years. Meanwhile, sales have slowed, pushing the median time to sell a home up to 47 days, the longest since 2016. Sellers wait endlessly for buyers, and when they can't get their asking price, they withdraw their listings in disappointment. Home prices are now starting to fall across the board. In Northridge, the median home price dropped about 4.1% to around $1 million. In West Adams, down about 3.6%, and in Eagle Rock, a steep decline of roughly 10.6%. What's striking is that even neighborhoods once considered red hot can no longer hold their value, showing that the LA market is truly in trouble. Affordability, the biggest headache. A family looking to buy a median-priced home in LA would need an income close to $250,000 per year, according to analysis from Axios and Redfin. But the median household income is only about $90,000. That means they would have to spend more than 77% of their income just on housing costs, the highest in the nation. At a 7% interest rate, a $900,000 home saddles you with a monthly payment of over $5,500. The result? An entire generation of young people is being shut out of the dream of home ownership. Short-term rental investors, Airbnb, are also bailing out. LA has imposed strict rules. Only primary residences can be rented, and for no more than 120 days a year. This has slashed profitability and stalled the vacation home market. Since 2023, the number of mortgages for second homes in California has dropped by more than 40%. Those who once expected to hold properties for rentals are now scrambling to unload them. Quality of life is clearly declining. Even though violent crime eased slightly in 2024, robberies and homelessness still flood many neighborhoods. Residents no longer feel safe. Families like the Oliver Azcarates had to leave LA because they wanted to live somewhere more secure. The wealthy are leaving. The poor simply cannot buy. And yet, many realtors still chant, "Prices will rebound, buy now or miss out." Should you believe that? When the data clearly shows Los Angeles, the very symbol of California, is entering a serious downturn, and its real estate dream is breaking apart. 8. San Diego. When the real estate paradise is no longer worth dreaming about golden sunshine, blue ocean, upscale lifestyle, San Diego was once the dream of millions. But by 2025, even paradise is cracking under the weight of inventory, interest rates, and the Airbnb illusion. The real estate frenzy has cooled, and harsh reality is setting in. Airbnb is restricted, profits are down, yet many agents still tag listings as perfect for Airbnb. How can you rent them out when no new permits are being issued? Listings have surged to record highs. In June 2025, San Diego's housing inventory jumped 55% year over year, according to Wolf Street. This is the highest level in nearly a decade. Just 2 years ago, buyers fought over every property. But now, sellers are forced to cut prices and wait. With more than 44% of listings showing price reductions, San Diego is experiencing one of the sharpest reversals among California's coastal markets. Affordability? Far out of reach. The median home price is about $905,000, while the median household income is just $108,000 per year. With mortgage rates near 7%, monthly payments hit around $6,000, nearly 70% of income, far above the recommended 30%. According to Redfin, San Diego ranks among the top 5 least affordable cities in the U.S., forcing many middle-class families to leave for cheaper states like Arizona, Texas, and Idaho. The Airbnb dream has also collapsed. San Diego was once fertile ground for vacation rental investors, but since 2023, the city has enforced new rules. Permits are issued by lottery, and the number of legal Airbnbs is capped. This has slashed profitability. Occupancy rates have fallen to around 75%, and average nightly rates dropped from $412 to $389. Countless small investors are bailing out, dumping properties that no longer generate returns. A viewer of a previous video shared, "I once thought buying an Airbnb in San Diego was my ticket to early retirement. But now it's only risk and expenses." That story is repeating itself for thousands of homeowners. San Diego was once the place everyone wanted to move to. Now, it's the place many want to leave. With inventory rising, home prices falling, high interest rates, and Airbnb no longer attractive, the paradise has lost its glow. Are you considering buying a home in San Diego? Think again. This is the time to stay alert, not to fall for the pitch from agents still saying, "This is the time to buy in." 7. Sacramento. The escape from the Bay Area. Now a dead end for investors. Once a refuge for those fleeing the Bay Area, Sacramento is now forcing even its own residents to leave. The housing market in California's capital is no longer a prime destination. It has become clear evidence of a silent retreat. Inventory is up. Investors are pulling back. Sacramento once boomed as people from San Francisco and San Jose rushed in to find cheaper housing. But that frenzy is over. According to 2025 data, listings have surged 47%, pushing June inventory to its highest level since before the pandemic. Weak demand and strong supply have tipped the balance. Buyers can bargain hard, while sellers struggle to move properties in vain. Home prices are falling for the second year in a row. According to Ventura, the median home value in Sacramento dropped just 1.1% compared to last year, following an 8.7% decline in 2023. This is no longer a mild adjustment, but a clear trend. In Sacramento County alone, this year's drop reached 1.6%. Nearly 33% of listings have had to cut prices, showing that sellers no longer hold the upper hand. A local realtor admitted, "Selling a house right now feels like standing in the middle of a desert, hoping someone passes by." Liquidity is low. Buyers are cautious. The absorption rate has fallen to just 35.7%, far below the nearly 50% seen during the hot years. The average time to sell a home is now 44 days, and nearly 20% of transactions fall through midway. Buyers hesitate, delay decisions, and wait for deeper price cuts, leaving the market sluggish and lifeless. Yet many agents still promise prices won't drop any further. Do you believe that? Just look at the numbers. Sacramento is no longer a safe haven. This is a warning for anyone still dreaming of catching the bottom in a city once considered the ideal alternative to the Bay Area. 6. Fresno. the cheap city now out of reach. If you once thought Fresno was the last safe place to buy a home in California, it's time to think again. The city was once a refuge for young people, immigrants, and retirees when housing was still affordable. But now, Fresno has taken the hit too. Many homes cut prices, sitting unsold for months, while agents still write, "cheap, quick close." But how is it cheap when buyers still have to borrow at 7%, paying nearly 50% of their income? Home prices up 46%, incomes not moving. The median sales price is now around $374,000, much higher than just a few years ago, up nearly 46% compared to pre-pandemic. Meanwhile, the median household income is only about $64,000 a year, meaning Fresno residents are spending up to 41% of their income just on mortgage payments, not including taxes and insurance. That's far beyond the recommended 30% threshold. Young people call it a housing trap. Prices up, incomes flat. Fresno now ranks only 41st out of 100 major cities for affordability. Its livability is sliding fast. Inventory surging, buyer confidence falling. Listings in 2025 have jumped 48% compared to the same time last year, one of the largest increases, behind only big markets like Orange County and San Diego. Sellers are forced to cut prices, offer closing credits, or leave homes sitting for months waiting for buyers. The issue isn't just high prices, but nearly 7% mortgage rates and spiking insurance costs. Buyers are extremely cautious, and no one wants to hold the risk in an unstable market. Insurance premiums have soared about 25% in 3 years, forcing many to switch to the FAIR plan, which is expensive and offers fewer benefits. For low-income families, this is the last straw. High borrowing costs, low incomes, and cutthroat insurance. The dream of owning a home in Fresno is turning into a financial burden. Once considered the last cheap city of California, Fresno can no longer hold that title. And if even Fresno has become unaffordable, then where else is there to go? Although Fresno's 2025 picture is painted in dark shades, it's not without a way out. In fact, there are still a few bright spots and opportunities, if you know where to look and have a clear strategy. Home prices are stabilizing, creating room for negotiation. After the hot wave of price surges, many homes in Fresno have begun to adjust. Sellers are more willing to bargain. You can push for price reductions, ask for closing cost credits, or negotiate better terms. This may be one of the rare moments when buyers actually have leverage after years of being squeezed. Some say this is the time to find a good deal when sellers lower prices. But be cautious. Agents are dressing up the numbers about price drops, while actual costs are soaring. A price cut on a listing doesn't necessarily mean you're getting a bargain. Sometimes it's just a facade to sell quickly in a cooling market. Don't forget to follow the channel so you won't miss the latest updates on California's housing market in the coming months. 5. Ventura, a coastal paradise losing its magic. Once the oceanfront dream for both retirees and investors, Ventura is now straining under financial pressures and stricter regulations. Soaring insurance costs have been the hardest blow. After a string of wildfires, major companies like State Farm have pulled out of contracts with tens of thousands of customers. Those who remain are forced to buy policies that cost 2 to 3 times more than just a few years ago. A crushing burden, especially for retirees or those living on fixed incomes. The Airbnb market has also been tightened by new STVR regulations. Permits are strictly limited, and short-term rental income has plunged, turning many homes that were once cash machines into long-term rentals, or leaving them vacant. In this context, vacation home listings in Ventura County have jumped more than 20%. a clear sign of an investor sell-off wave. But not everything is negative. Ventura still holds its stunning natural beauty, a mild year-round climate, and a cultured community. For buyers with strong financial capacity, this may be the time to negotiate reasonable prices in one of California's most desirable places to live, if they can accept the high insurance costs. 4. Oakland, a city struggling to hold on to trust. Oakland, the less glamorous sibling of San Francisco, is experiencing one of the steepest home price drops in the Bay Area. The median price has fallen by as much as 15.2% in just 1 year, dragging down values across nearly every neighborhood, even once hot spots like Rockridge. For buyers, this looks like a golden opportunity to enter the market. But there's a big problem: trust. Rising crime is the #1 reason buyers hesitate. Burglaries, break-ins, and robberies are driving residents away in search of safer communities. At the same time, the local economy is recovering slowly. Many office buildings sit vacant, unemployment is high, and the city budget deficit has sharply reduced the quality of public services. All of this is pushing housing demand down, even as prices have become reasonable. Currently, market liquidity is extremely low. Homes sit on the market for months without selling. Sellers are cutting prices, conceding to buyers, or even pulling their listings entirely. Buyers, the longer they wait, the more leverage they have. This vicious cycle has Oakland's market stuck in a standoff. Still, its geographic location near San Francisco, good climate, and much lower prices compared to the surrounding Bay Area could be the light at the end of the tunnel. If security improves and the city restores its financial health, Oakland could absolutely bounce back. And those who dare to buy at the bottom may be the ones who reap the rewards. 3. Bakersfield, the cheap housing promised land, losing its shine. Bakersfield was once the final symbol of the dream of home ownership in California at an affordable price. But in 2025, that glow is fading. The median home price here has surpassed $425,000, only about 3% lower than the national average, while local incomes remain stuck at around $56,000 per year, far below the minimum level needed for safe home ownership. With a 30-year loan at 7% interest, Bakersfield residents are spending more than 60% of their income just on mortgage payments, not including taxes, insurance, and maintenance. The problem is this: Bakersfield is no longer the budget choice it used to be, but it also doesn't have the attractive features of a strong job market, rapid appreciation potential, or high-end urban amenities. The city depends heavily on agriculture and oil, two unstable industries vulnerable to outside shocks. Young people are leaving because of a lack of good jobs, while older residents are moving away because living costs are no longer cheap. Kern County's population has dipped slightly, reflecting the ongoing negative migration trend. As a result, the housing market is being left behind. Transactions are slow, listings are plentiful, and the average time to sell has climbed to 38 days. While some investors still see long-term potential since prices remain more affordable than LA or San Francisco, a wait-and-see mentality dominates. Buyers are holding out for further drops. Sellers don't want to take losses, creating a stalemate. Bakersfield may still serve as a starting point for many first-time buyers, but cheap is no longer enough to make it truly attractive. 2. Palm Springs, a desert paradise caught in the band trap. Palm Springs, with its desert sunshine and luxury villas, was once a dream destination for retirees and Airbnb investors. But when the city imposed a 20% cap on Airbnb per neighborhood, the profit dream instantly turned into a nightmare. Countless vacation homes were suddenly not allowed to be rented out, meaning lost cash flow. The story of million-dollar villas sitting empty year-round has become reality in many areas like racket club estates. It didn't stop there. Tourist numbers fell due to limited lodging, hitting the local economy with a double blow. Homeowners couldn't operate Airbnbs, visitors stopped coming, and incomes couldn't cover expenses. Vacation home inventory has surged, especially in neighborhoods under heavy restrictions, while buyers have vanished, fearing legal risks and falling prices. Some agents are so desperate they've stopped holding open houses because no one shows up. Even so, Palm Springs still holds unique cultural and aesthetic value. Nowhere else in California offers the same retro glam lifestyle in the heart of the desert. For buyers truly looking to live here, this may be the time to hunt for a beautiful home at a reasonable price, if they don't rely on rental income. The situation could turn around if the government loosens the rules or tourism rebounds. But right now, Palm Springs is a textbook case of how quickly a city can lose investor appeal when policies change. 1. Santa Rosa. From dream retirement land to a burning anxiety. Once hailed as a peaceful paradise for retirees, Santa Rosa, the county seat of Sonoma, is losing its shine after years of living under the shadow of wildfires and an insurance system in collapse. The Tubbs Fire of 2017 destroyed more than 5,500 homes, and since then, the fear of wildfires has never left Santa Rosa. At the same time, an insurance crisis is eroding the dream of stability. Major carriers like State Farm, Allstate, and Farmers have all pulled out or refused new policies in high-risk areas like Sonoma. The result? Homeowners are forced onto fair plan programs with premiums 2 to 3 times higher than before, and in some cases, no coverage at all. For many, it's a financial death sentence. Those living on pensions and fixed incomes are being forced to sell their homes. One homeowner shared that his ownership costs rose by nearly $6,000 a year solely because of insurance. The fear of natural disasters isn't just a summer story. It's something quietly eroding property values, peace of mind, and financial security. The irony is that despite all this pressure, prices haven't fallen sharply. Santa Rosa hasn't collapsed like Palm Springs or Oakland, but market liquidity is very poor. Inventory has risen 44% while absorption has dropped to just 35.7%. Buyers hesitate out of fear of wildfire risks and soaring insurance, while sellers can't cut too deeply because of high purchase costs, leaving the market stuck in a soft gridlock. The luxury segment shows this adjustment most clearly. Homes over $2 million have dropped about 15% in a year, mostly because no one wants to take on a financial bomb. Still, Santa Rosa retains a unique appeal. Clean air, fine wine, and a quiet community. They're all still there. For long-term buyers with a strong financial plan, this may be the time to negotiate for a dream home, but only with careful risk calculation. Santa Rosa hasn't collapsed, but it is no longer the safe haven it once was. Until the state government resolves the insurance crisis and strengthens fire protection infrastructure, this city will remain among California's most fragile housing markets in 2025. And the most troubling part, many realtors continue to lie, painting the market rosy, hiding the risks, and convincing buyers to close early before it's too late. But you, the smart home buyers, deserve the truth. Not every market is bad. Not every city is collapsing. But this is the time to stay alert. Review your finances carefully, reassess your needs, and choose the right timing. Don't let the dream of home ownership turn into a burden that drags down your future. If you're preparing to buy, double-check the facts, look closely at the data, and don't let empty promises from agents blind you. Hit like if you found this helpful, and don't forget to comment. Which city do you think will keep falling in 2026?